Welcome back into our breaking news coverage on an extraordinary night in NBA league history. As you know by now, tonight's playoff games were postponed by a boycott, beginning with the Milwaukee Bucks' decision to walk out on their Game 5 closeout chance against the Orlando Magic earlier today. Other teams followed suit, and so we wound up with no games tonight from the bubble in Orlando. Instead, a players' meeting that began about 8 Eastern time and lasted just shy of 3 hours is now apparently over, according to multiple reports. And it got contentious with Shams Charania tweeting that the LA Lakers and LA Clippers voted to boycott the remainder of the season. No news or no idea what that means exactly. Chris Haynes reporting the same, that they were ready to walk away from the rest of the playoffs and were the first two teams to exit the meeting. Meanwhile, every other team voted to continue playing. Fallout from this is uncertain at this point. LeBron James apparently said he wanted ownership to be more involved, take more action on social justice issues, and according to at least one of the reports I read, I think more than one, walked out of the meeting a little early. 3D, I don't know what to make of this in terms of what it means for the duration of the season. Is it majority rule? Is it, that's the way Players Association things typically work. This doesn't sound like necessarily an official Players Association kind of vote. So I don't know where we stand in terms of the season ahead.
No, I agree with you, Matt. We don't know where we stand at yet, but what I do like is that we are flushing out these emotions that these players are going through right now, right in the heat of the moment, as we say. So with that being said, I know we're having a conversation before we come on air that some players knew that if they wanted to leave the bubble because they felt uncomfortable either with the pandemic situation or with the social injustice, you may leave the bubble. Now, with that being said, Matt, now if all sources are true that the Lakers and the Clippers want to leave, now all parties really need to sit back down at the table here again, either I guess first thing in the morning or later on tonight, to figure out which players still want to leave and how does that look and how does that flush itself out, that players really feel the way they feel. And I'm sure Adam Silver and Michelle will have a conversation along with Chris Paul, along with everyone else, saying, do we give these players that wish? And what does that look like? What players still want to stay? So as these conversations still go on, Matt, I'm just happy the guys are willing to put it all on the line now and flush it out now so we can get to the next phase.
And we expect to have Shams Charania on a little later on to help flesh out some of the details of this meeting, because at this point, I can't honestly say if the season is going to continue or not based on the information that we have. We hope, we don't know, we hope to hear from either Chris Paul as the president of the Players Association or somebody else associated with the Players Association to summarize what was discussed and give the rest of us an idea of what is happening. I think there's a general expectation that tomorrow's games will be at minimum postponed, and then we'll see where we are on Friday. But again, at this point, we don't really know. Stephanie Reddy has been covering this extraordinary day from the bubble in Orlando, and Stephanie is with us now from the Disney Resort. Stephanie, for folks who are maybe a little late to this story, who weren't around at 4 this afternoon when this thing first started brewing with the Bucks making the decision not to come out and not to play today, can you kind of take us through the progression of what has happened today as you understand it?
About to win an NBA championship. Gang, gang, gang.
Alright， 那就这样吧。NBA 可能会被这个季节可能会取消啊。